guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here today in the Bay Area. I'm here in the foggy city. I'm in San Francisco. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite places in California to visit just because there's so much to do here. I have been here before as well. I have actually vlogged here before also. I am going to leave that video down below for you guys so you can watch that. Last time I didn't really get to do what I wanted to do. I literally just walked around San Francisco, went to Golden Gate Bridge, Pier 39 and grabbed some food. This time I'm going to Alcatraz. This is something that I've wanted to do for so bloody long. It's been on my bucket list for ages. Last time I came I wasn't able to actually get tickets because they were sold out, but this time for some reason, for some weird reason, there's loads of tickets. There's hundreds of tickets, and I think it's because of COVID. The only thing that was sold out was the night tours, but I have literally booked the tour like 10 minutes ago and there was 200 tickets still available. So if you are in San Francisco or in the Bay Area and you do want to visit Alcatraz Island, there are loads of tickets available and you can still book them on the day. I really do find like Guantanamo and Alcatraz and things like that so interesting to read into. I do usually watch documentaries on the justice system here in America. I have watched a documentary on, I think it was Netflix, about Alcatraz and the history of Alcatraz. So I'm going to leave that down below for you guys if I can. Before we get in with the video, I do want to say make sure you're subscribing before we carry on. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting, make sure you're showing your girls some love. It is going to take me around 20 minutes to get to Pier 33. That's where the ferry leaves to go to Alcatraz Island. I have also left my hair out today, which I'm hoping it does not rain, and I'm hoping that the boat also has shelter. Oh my god. On the one day I brush my hair, curl my hair, please tell me why it's raining. It's actually raining, like fully. Alcatraz Island was actually designated as a federal prison in August 1934. It was designed for prisoners who continuously caused trouble at other federal prisons. As we walked up this really rainy slope towards the main entrance of the prison, we did find the morgue. During the time that the prison was opened, this was only ever used once. As I walked towards the glass door, I could see this little table in the middle of the room. This table was actually used for autopsies. However, during the time that the prison was open, no autopsies were actually done. So this is where the prisoners would first come when they came to the prison, and this is where they'd change their clothes and whatnot. And then these right here are actually the showers. The prisoners were actually escorted into this room by two guards. They had handcuffs and chains on them, and this is where they were removed. They were also assessed by doctors here to ensure that they weren't smuggling any drugs into the prison. So instead of having a regular tour guide, Alcatraz actually used these little phones to do an audio tour. I did find these really handy, only because I do sometimes find tour guides really annoying because I can't stop and look at certain things when I want to. They did look like the old Nokia brick phones. So as we got up the stairs, we seen B Block, which is known as Broadway, and this is where the famous Al Capone was kept. His cell number was 133 in B Block. If I was locked up here, this is where I would be, because this is where all the blacks, Indians and Mexicans were. That's what it said on the tour. So all the ethnic minorities were put in this block here. So this little thing that I'm walking through right now is called a cutoff. This little tunnel runs between B Block, and it gives the guards access to each corridor between the blocks. On the left hand side you will see A Block. A Block was actually rarely used to confine inmates. It was only used on rare occasions when prisoners were needed to be completely separated from the rest of the inmates. The space was actually used for offices and storage. So here is just an example of the kind of cell that people would be held in B and C Block. These cells had a small sink with cold running water, a small sleeping cot and a toilet. This cell here was just made up to show what new inmates will receive upon arrival. So there's pillowcases, duvets, and a sheet. This right here is D Block. D Block was actually reserved for dangerous and violent inmates. Despite being the unruly amongst the inmates, they still received good food and healthcare. If you could see the 6 cells on the end, they were known as the Hole. The hole was used as a disciplinary unit for the worst of the worst. Some of the treatment that was used in the hole was total darkness and restricted food. And this will usually last for several days, but it would never be more than 19 days. Not a lot of inmates actually see in the hole, but yeah, that's inside of the cell, which is crazy. And I actually was able to go inside as well, which blew my mind. It's so crazy because imagine people were actually in here. People were actually in here. And they're probably dead right now. Well, yeah. That is just so crazy. Next was the recreation yard, and inmates were actually able to play baseball, run laps, and they were also able to walk up to the bleachers and to look across at Golden Gates Bridge. So we've just been to A block, D block, isolation, the hole, which I was just in, which is so crazy. And now I'm in the Prisma Library. We've also seen the recreational grounds as well, where they were allowed to stay outside for like up to 3 hours, but because it's so cold, because they're near the sea, prisoners will still go outside because obviously they want to escape their cell. You can still see all the bookcases, which is so crazy. It's actually so mad in here. And I've never been in a prison before. This is the first time I've ever been in a prison, thankfully. But yeah, this is mind-blowing. After visiting the library, we found C block. Now, some of the cells in C block were quite interesting because cellmates were actually able to earn privileges like playing checkers in their cell. Some of them actually had artwork and painting and drawing in their cell too. That there is Golden Gates Bridge. This is like a little window that they would have in C block, and there's quite a few of them here. So this right here is called Peek and Place, aka visitation. Yes, Alcatraz inmates were allowed visitors. They were allowed 1 per month. They had to be approved by the warden. There was no physical contact allowed. One of the rules were that inmates were not allowed to discuss any current events or any matters concerning prison life. This door here is where family and friends would come to visit, which is so crazy. And it is called the administration building. You can see the entirety of San Francisco. It is crazy that from their cells, they can literally see the city. I am going to quickly show you because the views are incredible. San Francisco is so beautiful from here. I'm quite sure that there is Pier 33. That's where we came from. Yeah. And then right down there, around here, is like Pier 39. And that's where like all the attractions and stuff are. And you can walk to Golden Gates Bridge. 3 people actually escaped from this prison, 2 of which were brothers, and then 1 more by chiseling their way out with spoons. And they used dummy heads to put in their bed made out of soap. So the guards thought that there were still people in the cell. And it was only until one of them wasn't responding, one of the guards hit a teapot at his head and his head fell off. And then they realised that they'd actually escaped. Like, that is so mad. Like, it's actually like real life Prison Break. Like, that's probably where the idea for Prison Break came from, was the 3 men that escaped from Alcatraz. So these are the dummies that were put in the beds so they could escape. Are you alright? And there's the actual hole as well. The 3 men that actually escaped was Frank Morris, Clarice Anglin and John Anglin. This is another cell of one of the men that escaped. They still have not been found. No one knows where they are. People don't know if they died. Like, how mad is that? Like, their escape was successful. This is actually like the dining area. So this is where they all used to eat. Obviously there's probably like tables and chairs here. But yeah, this whole experience has been crazy. This is the menu of what they used to actually eat. So there's peanut butter soup, buttered peas, hot biscuits, turkey, sweet potatoes. This sounds like great. They're getting 3 courses here. They used to eat the same thing that the guards used to eat. So their food was one of the best in the prison systems in the US, which is so crazy. And then they'd have all the menu just put here. So we've just finished the tour. We've just got to this little museum bit. It is a little bit loud in here, so I don't know if you can hear me. It's got like little quizzes and little questions and stuff going on. So I'm going to have a little look at the first one that I just walked past. So it says, what are your thoughts? People convicted of felonies should be allowed to vote. I think yes. It has a whole board about how did we get here, and it speaks about injustices in the prison system. But they also have a museum store which has like loads of like merchandise, loads of t-shirts. So we are leaving Alcatraz. It's been a very interesting experience and it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. This goes alongside climbing Sydney Harbour Bridge, which was the other coolest thing I've ever done. So yeah, this has been great, amazing. Like, I would really recommend people doing this. Like, if you come to San Francisco, this is one of the things you actually really need to do. In terms of history, like, it's crazy. I was wondering whether like the guards actually lived on the island or whether they commuted from San Fran to the island every day. Turns out their whole families moved down to the island and lived literally in these little bunks. There is no way in hell I would do that, even for the love of my life. I would never do that. Move to a whole secluded island where there are prisoners with my kids. Are you right in the head? Because that would never be happening. I could never do that. Ever. Ever. I don't love anybody that much. So this is where the families lived, and this is the prison. So this is possibly where the 3 guys that escaped fell, then proceeded along here to jump into the sea that's there. But that is so crazy, and that's such a steep drop. I wonder how they would have like even survived that. They must have broken a few bones. Just walking along the grounds. I'm going to show you the sea because it actually looks really cool, and it's super foggy, of course, because it's San Fran. I'm going to end this vlog here. So if you did get this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your guys' support. Don't forget to show some love and support the hustle by liking, commenting and subscribing. Yeah, that's the end of this vlog. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.